Draw near, draw near, draw near, draw near. I will whisper in your ear. The name whose radiance makes the spheres to dance.
Yeah, welcome everyone to Osho Niranjana's online event. We are very delighted to have Swami Krishna Prem, or KP as he is lovingly called. KP is an international teacher of meditation with over 45 years of experience in leading meditation workshops in United States, Europe, and India. He was born and raised in America and graduated from Boston University. So after meeting Osho in 1973, he founded Geetam Ashram in California, which flourished into the biggest Osho meditation center in the West. Today, he's very excited to help us rise in love. So without further ado, let's welcome Swami Krishna Prem.
Hey, thank you, Amritanand. I'm so glad to be here today. We're still on Zoom. We were going to do a live event in Dana Point, California, but by the time the COVID restrictions were made, there was only room for me. So we decided to do an online event, and I appreciate you being here. For me, really, the world is very big right now, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to be with you guys today, because the world is 99% of the truth, and the truth is only 1% of the world. And for me, as you may know, because I always send pictures around, that I love the Christian sign of infinity, that number 8 on its side. And it's not correct, because the correct version would be Osho, Jesus, existence. That's a very small circle, just 1%. And then you come over here and there's a big 99% called the world, called California, called London, wherever you are. The world is never been in my life bigger than right now, because the world is saying, we are the important ones. The politicians are the truth. The priests are the truth. Your parents never lied to you. And over on that 1% is the masters, existence, saying, I know I'm only 1%, but actually my feeling is that 1% is more valuable than the world. That 1%, the truth, is more valuable than the marketplace. And actually, I agree with Osho. But my work, I'm just a little tiny sannyasin. I'm just a little tiny friend of Osho. And my feeling is to always share that Osho is wrong if you don't include the world, and the world is wrong if you don't include Osho. So my whole lifetime really is about how to get us to add that 1% to the other 99%. And then you're a complete human being. Then you can make your own mistakes. It took me forever to make my own mistakes. I was so much part of the world that I never even heard of meditation. And then when I bumped into meditation, bumped into Osho, I was ready to give up the world completely. And now at the ripe age of 78, with only a couple of more days left, I found out that the truth is Osho, existence, plus the world. We need to include meditation and meditation. I call the world meditation because without meditation, the world does not have a center. So if you're only hearing noise this morning, I suggest you meditate with us today to add meditation to meditation, and then you have a complete life, I may be crazy. I probably am crazy. And I'm so glad you came to be with me this morning. And I know it sounds crazy, but I sent many of you an invitation indicating that this is Krishna Prem right here. This is a fantastic photo of me. And this is a fantastic photo of you. So my idea in life is for us to rise in love. And all we know is how to fall in love. So basically, Krishna Prem loves you. This is falling in love. And then we have to go all the way down. I go all the way down to who I am in order to say, I love you. This is meditation. If I say I love you from here, I probably just want to make love, just want to get in bed with you for the day. But today we're not talking about sex, we're talking about love. So what I'm trying to suggest is Krishna Prem is letting go of his conditioning, letting go of America, letting go of his religion, letting go of his parents, letting go of his conditioning, coming all the way down into who I am. This who I am is what Osho calls the unknowable. It takes tremendous courage to find out that we are one existence appearing as two friends. Do you know what I mean? Now, the unknowable, if you're not familiar with it, by the way, it's called the unknowable because you never can know, but you can feel intimate with who you are. If you're not intimate with who you are, this point is actually your ego. It's saying, please, 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 don't lose yourself. Don't lose your personality. No, for Osho, it means looking into the dark night of the soul so that you can experience intimacy. And once you can experience intimacy, I can come up and say, I love you. Do you know what I mean? I know it sounds strange, but this is what Osho means when he says, we are one existence appearing as two friends. It's so simple. To me, it's simple. If I come from here, I'm separate from you. If I go all the way down into who I am, I'm one with you. So look at all your relationships and say, do I actually love that person? Can I fall in love? And can I rise in love? And Osho speaks about rising in love. And in order to be clear, I thought I'd ask Osho just to say a couple of words to us about rising in love.
To fall in love is so easy. Why is it so difficult to fall out of love? So many discussions, tears, fights, fears. I don't want to hurt the person I've been with because it's not that there is no feeling. I'm so confused. And the love for you is a different feeling altogether. Can you say something?
Is there something to say? All is finished. Falling is always easy. You can fall in any ditch. Getting out is difficult. But you will have to get out. Once the love disappears, the ditch becomes hell. then there is quarreling, argument, nagging, and every kind of nastiness from both the sides. Nobody wants to hurt, but because he is hurting, she is hurting, unknowingly they go on dumping their hurt feelings on the other. In the first place, when you start falling in love, when you are still not in the ditch, that is the time to ask me. Because I have a totally different kind of love affair, which is called rising in love. Then there is no problem. Rising in love is beautiful, and getting out of it is very easy, because that will be falling down. Falling down is easy. Keep it for the next step. First step, always use rising. Easier you have done, now you have to do the difficult one. And it will happen. All these tears and conflicts and anything cannot bring the love back. A simple thing has to be understood. Love is not the love that you are talking about in your hands. You have fallen in it. It was not in your power not to fall. So when it comes, it takes you with it. But it is like a breeze. It comes and goes. And it is good that it comes and goes, because if it stays, it becomes stale. A little understanding on both the sides that the love is no more there. There is no need to hate each other, because nobody has destroyed it. Nobody has created it. It had come like a breeze. You enjoyed those moments. Be thankful to each other and help each other to come out of the ditch. In a ditch, that is the only way. The man, to be really manly, should give his shoulders for the woman to rise upon the shoulders and get out of the ditch. And the man can find his own gymnastics, how to do it. But nobody asked me before falling. This is strange. For 35 years I have been waiting somebody to ask me how to fall in love. Nobody asks that. Because if you had asked that, I would have suggested never fall in love. try to rise. And rising in love is a totally different matter. Rising in love means a learning, a changing, a maturity. Rising in love ultimately helps you to become grown up. And two grown up person don't quarrel. They try to understand. They try to solve any problem. Anybody who rises in love never falls from it, because rising is your effort, and the love that is grown through your effort is within your hands. But falling in love is not your effort.
Again, I was just remembering as Osho was speaking that when I met him, I was not in love with myself. I was, my life was absolutely falling apart. I don't know how old you are, but around 28 to 30, the astrologists call it a Saturn return, but I can honestly say I got hit by my own life. And when I met Osho, it was simply a delight because I was so surprised. I was always waiting to be in love with a woman, and now I was falling in love with a man. And when I left his presence, a young girl gave me a book as a present. When you meditate in India, your birthday is actually when you have your meeting with meditation. And she gave me a book called Seeds of Revolutionary Thought, one of 265 books that Osho spoke that were later transcribed into books. You're not talking today with the most intelligent of Osho's disciples. So that's the only book I ever read. And I remember it was the only book I had, and it was in my suitcase for 2 years. And in those 2 years between receiving that book and reading that book for the second time, I couldn't believe how much my life has changed just by being in love with Osho. I read that book again, and it was a different book. I read it from the viewpoint of love. I read it from the viewpoint of meeting the witness in me, that part that doesn't have a personality, that doesn't have an ego, that just is pure. And I couldn't believe the alchemical change in just having been in love for 2 years with Osho. And I did what every insane person would do in that moment. I quit my job. I took all my money. I hitchhiked from West Virginia, where I was working, to New York City. And it was, I think you might understand, because it was the dead of winter. But I was going to the dead of summer in India. And I didn't want to spend any of my hard-earned money on a winter jacket. So my only solution was to walk fast. There I am, freezing my ass off in New York City in my orange pajamas that I brought back from India and a tiny sweatshirt. I was just flaming in orange, walking as fast as I could. And a bag lady in the middle of the intersection in front of the US Embassy stopped me and said, "I can't believe how well you dress for the winter," because she could feel my heat. And oftentimes a bag lady has more to say to me than the mayor of New York City, who was welcoming me to the Big Apple. Anyway, I just had to see Osho because my life had changed. The witness had, even at 2 years old, was just a baby. And I wanted to be in his presence. And so rising in love, yes, I had fallen in love with women before, but I had never risen in love with a man before. And it was delightful because it's a great experience. And people often ask me, who is Osho? And for me, I was humbled by the truth. Meeting Osho was not like a football coach that said, if we win this game, I love you. It was like getting hit by a peacock feather, and I went to see Osho and many, many times. We had a terrific time together. The only problem I had is that I didn't need to be around him. Everybody came forever. And I think you might remember there was a young boy at my first darshan with Osho after 2 years. And Osho said, how long are you here? And the young boy said, Osho, I'm here forever. And Osho closed his eyes. Osho opened his eyes and he said, could you come for longer the next time? Because he knew we were just saying what he wanted to hear. But what he liked about me is he'd say, how are you doing, Krishna Prem? And I said, please be direct. Give me a message because I'm not here for long. I need to get back to America because I'm going to start a commune for you in the high desert of California. Please give me some direction. And Osho loved it because I wasn't there forever. I was one of the few that was willing to give up my space in the front row to get back to America. By the time I saw him again, he was so popular that I was in the back row. But I was always chuckling because for me, it didn't make a difference if I was near him or far away from him because I was falling in love with myself. When you fall in love with yourself, you're actually rising in love. I want to take a moment now because I have a brother who kind of helps me out of these difficult situations of speaking for an hour. And his name is Dr. Brian Alman. And when I started that Commune for America, because I promised him I would, and it became more and more successful, Brian, at that very moment, my younger brother had met his teacher, Dr. Milton Erickson, who lived in Phoenix, Arizona. And Brian would take his motorcycle and ride from San Diego through the night to Phoenix, which is very hot. You can't drive a motorcycle during the day in Phoenix. And in the middle of his home in San Diego and Dr. Erickson's home in Phoenix, Arizona, was Gitam, the place I had for Osho. And Brian would pull in and lead a meditation for us. His specialty is self-hypnosis for meditation. Now, after Brian speaks, I'll be leading us in some meditations, but I've asked Brian just to speak for 15 to 20 minutes to help us relax so that we can go deeper into the meditations Osho asked me to share with you today. He asked me 50 years ago to share particular meditations, and that's all I do. I think I may be autistic because I always do the same thing. I just do Osho, Krishna Prem, Osho, and Krishna Prem. So, Brian, can you help us out? I want you to just help the people relax for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it needs, and I'll lead them in meditation.
One of the greatest things about what you're saying, Prem, is that when I shared Osho with Erickson, he loved it. And when I shared Erickson with Osho, he loved it. And as it turned out, Osho was amazing with hypnosis. I've read everything he's written, talked about it. He loved my book, found it in his library with all his calligraphy all over it. Erickson loved Osho. We talked about meditation often. So think of self-hypnosis as goal-directed meditation, as a way to deepen meditation, to attach specific outcomes that one might want to accomplish. Meditation is the place to be, and self-hypnosis can enhance it and help us go deeper, which is why I was in India teaching people at the ashram how to go deeper into meditation with self-hypnosis. So I have a question, and I tend to do this through questions, is I want to ask you, first of all, how deep can you be right now? And I want you to ask yourself that question in your own mind or out loud. How deep can I be right now? And just keep repeating that question. How deep can I be right now? Until you're satisfied with your experience. How deep can I be right now? Or any question like that, in any language, any words. With a question like this, it's not what you say, it's what you mean. How deep can I be right now? So you're asking yourself this question over and over again until you're satisfied with how deep you can be right now. Please continue to do this. Ask yourself this question or anyone like it. How deep can I be right now? Because with meditation, with love, with self-hypnosis, with anything that matters to us, always, when in doubt, go deeper. That's right. When in doubt, go deeper. And here is something that may feel very reassuring. You could never go too deep. Stay with it. That's right. Having a bridge or a vehicle or a device or a technique can be helpful as you're asking yourself, how deep can I be right now? You are re-remembering with anything that's important to you. When in doubt, go deeper. And perhaps feeling reassured that you can never go too deep. Anything that matters to you, from music to art, to theater, to singing, to laughing, to love, meditation. And when you remember vaguely or clearly an experience you've had that you've been able to go deep successfully, really helped with new learning, a new experience. When you remember a time you've been deep, maybe as deep as you've ever been, in a conversation, in a theater, in a museum, at a concert, all alone in Mother Nature, walking, anywhere, doing anything. You're about to integrate a new experience that can positively make connections inside for meditation to go deeper. And that is to utilize a past success. Any experience you've ever had, from very young to now, any age or stage, remember an experience you've gone deep and it's worked out beautifully. Whether it was a hobby, a passion, gardening, walking, laughing, connecting, music. Any experience you've ever had, and certainly more than one is fine, just remember successful experience with going deep, writing, resting, meditating, self-hypnosis, out in the middle of nowhere in Mother Nature, swimming, being. Because remembering and utilizing a past success of going deep, deep, deeper than maybe you've ever gone, comfortable, feel the vibrations in your body perhaps, like it's happening right now. Because this inner experience, this inner structure, this inner wisdom of your past success of being deep, this can be utilized so you can optimize meditations, take this past success, apply it to your meditation, go deeper. And you can even remember what it took to be able to go that deep and have that success with your art, with your music, with your writing, with your connection, with Mother Nature, with yourself. Did you have to travel to go to a place to go deeper? By train, plane, by car, by bicycle, walking? How did you get there? What was the journey like to be able to experience a deep and successful experience in your life? Could have been sports, could have been a relationship, any success in the whole wide world that mattered to you at the time. You know what it took to accomplish this success, to go deep and be 100% engaged, focused, present, alive. And the more you can remember, experience, reconnect with the whole journey of everything it took to be successful, to be deep, to accomplish the deepest meditation ever, you remember now, perhaps. The most fun and joy of being so present and so spontaneous that your inner wisdom is guiding you. You know your inner wisdom is even smarter than you are. So as you gather and re-experience and re-remember everything about this past success, going deep inside, start to apply it to your present, right here, right now, in this event, in this experience, and to the meditation that will be coming in minutes with KP, and to your future meditations after this event with KP. Because perhaps the most important thing about going deeper in meditation is to integrate it into your daily life. Being meditative, being able to go deep, reinstate this depth that you're connecting with now, anytime that's important to you. So you can access past success, the journey, the deepening, the being total, being real, spontaneous, present, joyful, creative, 100%. So give yourself a couple of minutes before we finish up together with this. Knowing the most important thing about going deep is being able to reinstate this anytime, utilize your past success. When you do this later, other successes may come to you. You may find yourself able to go deeper each time. And perhaps you can ask yourself again, how deep can I be right now? How deep can I be? You know, when in doubt, go deeper. And you know you could never go too deep. No such thing. So take your time, give yourself a minute or two to make the adjustments, to integrate, plant the seeds like seeds in your inner garden that you would love to see grow today, tonight, tomorrow, in the world, in yourself, in your relationships, in your existence, in your work, in your play, success. And you know with success, like with deepening, first things happen on the inside and then they happen on the outside. So I want to thank your unconscious mind for being so open, your inner wisdom, inner doctor, inner wise woman, inner wise man. And I know you'll enjoy integrating your own inner wisdom into your daily life, into the KP meditation that's coming up, and your own meditations, present, future. And when you're ready, you might want to stretch and move a little bit, kind of make the adjustment you choose to make. Right, the ultimate power, the power of choice. So stretch as much or as little as you wish. And I'm going to say thank you again, and Prem, KP.
Hey, thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Can you imagine our mother, Krishna Prem, went to India, became a meditation teacher, and her other son, Brian, became a hypnosis teacher? She often wonders, what did I do wrong, you know? But I laugh because I was working in Europe before I got to meet Osho. And so already being in Europe was very big for an American mother. So of course I never told her that I went to India. And 4 years later, I show up back at home because I had no money left. And I rang the doorbell, and she opened the door, and she looked at my hair that was up to the sky, and she looked at my beard that was down to the ground, and she looked in my eyes, and she looked at the mala, Osho's mala, and she looked at my bare feet, and she said, I always knew this was going to happen to you, And I know, I'm so glad you guys are here, but I just want to let you know that not only are you crazy for being here today, but your parents know that you're crazy for being here today. And for me, the definition of crazy is that you are alive and that you know it, that you're not just the world. You're actually a human being in the world. You're a human being that knows how to do something. You're not a human doer. You act all day long, at least I do, doing, writing great books, indicating nothing at all, instead of being a human being, relaxing and saying to himself, wow, what would I like to do today as a human being? I leave that up to you, but basically, you don't have to tell anybody that you're into Osho, that you're in love. You can just be, because people know anyway. It's not a problem. And I'll never forget when I introduced my brother Brian to the dynamic meditation. We did it together. He loved it. I loved it. And we were laughing because in stage 2, we were both in pain over disappointing our mother, when the catharsis stage. And very soon after, we were celebrating through dance. And I said to Brian, how did we get from pain to ecstasy in a few minutes? And he said, well, they're actually neighbors. Pain and ecstasy in your mind are actually neighbors. And through the dynamic meditation, you got to meet ecstasy. And I said, well, how can we just go to ecstasy without going through pain? He said, that's very difficult. I said, do you have any recommendations? And he said, when you're in pain, go deeper. And I love that, because we're always trying to avoid life. And Brian's answer was, keep going deeper. And I said, how will you know when you go deeper? And he said, because the ecstasy when you dance will be greater, So I leave that with you, but I do laugh because everybody's different. We all think we're the same. I'm the same as all the boys, and you're the same as all the girls, and we're all human beings, and we're all the same, but it's not true. We're all unique. And when I met Osho, I said, great. He said, are you ready for meditation? I said, absolutely. He said, how come you're so ready? And I said, well, because I come from a very dysfunctional family, and I just want to drop my family, and I want to go into meditation. And he said, wait, just one moment. You can't go from being a dysfunctional human being into meditation. You have to become healthy first. I should suggest that when I call Brian my brother, he's actually my nephew. My mother left her body before I was 1 year old, and she gave me directly to Brian's mother. Her name was Phyllis, and she became my mother. And I knew from the very beginning, as much as I loved her, it was unconditional. The love was bigger than you can even have for a mother. I knew she was actually my sister, but I didn't want to hurt her by saying that, and she didn't want to hurt me by saying that. So Osho sent me to primal therapy. Can you believe that? This is why I'm such a great guy today, by the way. But anyway, I'm in primal therapy, amazing. And we weren't getting very far because, I'm impossible, And so we were playing with some yarn, I don't know, wool, wool balls. And I drew a circle with the wool ball. And then across the circle was a different color, red, right across the center of the circle. And the therapist, my gosh, she's such a good friend. And I'm so in the moment, I can't remember her name, but she was wonderful. Italian girl. She lives in Greece, fantastic therapist. She said, "What is that string?" If anybody knows the name, please type it in at the notes because I should give her credit. She saved my life. She said, "What is that string?" And I said, "I think it's my sister." She said, "Your sister? I thought you called her Ma." I said, "Yeah, but she was my sister." And the therapist just picked up the string and threw it away. And I was alone with my birth mother for the very first time in my conscious life. Now, being a baby in Primal, of course, we couldn't speak, and we never spoke anyway because she left the body before I could speak. We had that moment in silence where I actually had a mother for the first time. And it was absolutely delicious. And it was an experience of not being dysfunctional. Having said that, the love I had for my sister was so great that I didn't want my mother again after that moment. But it's so nice to know you have a mother. It's so nice to be one in the womb with a human being. But it was really great. And after primal therapy, Osho assigned me some more groups, but I didn't do them. I said, "Screw you, Osho. I'm not doing any more groups. I'm enlightened now. Let's move into meditation." We had a lot of fun. And one thing also that I'd like to share with you before we begin to meditate is we are all unique, And Osho said to me that most men come to him in order to become a woman, in order to become more female. They know that they're too tough. That tough works in the world. It pays very well. You could become president of the United States, but you need to be both a man and a woman. You need to be both a woman and a man. You need to be strong and you need to be vulnerable. And he said, "Krishna Prem, you're one of the few men that came to me without any balls. You were brought up by 4 sisters. You actually think you're a woman. And I know you're a man, and I want you to leave. I want you to go back into the world, and I want you to discover that you're a man." And it was, so all the other men were hanging out trying to become a woman so they could get laid. I don't know why they wanted to become a woman. But for me, he said, no. You're going directly back into the world. So of course I went into the world, but I didn't know what to do anymore. So I started a meditation center for Osho that grew quickly into 200 people, quickly into success, quickly into making all these decisions. Quickly, I became a man, and I really do appreciate it, that I had that opportunity to be unique, to not get lost in my personality. I was ready to break open through meeting Osho, through doing primal therapy, through being with you guys. I learned to take a risk of being myself in the moment. As you know, I wrote a great new book. I'm the only one that likes it. It's called Aloneness, a Love Story. And it's basically very simple. And for me, it is Osho. And the reason it's Osho is because we're born enlightened, and we remain enlightened for about 3 years. And then the problem is we become a human being, a human doer, really. And we create this personality in order to get through life, because we're no longer enlightened. The first 3 years we are, but after that, we're just the world for a while. And the idea of my book is you become a personality. And then, like I said, around 30 years old, you just hit the wall because that personality is not the truth. And what happens when you hit the wall, that personality, which is made up of plastic, just crumbles to the ground in pieces. And what happened for me, and may happen for you, I don't know, I'd look down at this, my personality crumbled on the ground, and it shocked me because it looked just like me, you know, that this personality was simply covering up my uniqueness, my oneness with existence. That personality just crumbled and it looked just like me. And then I had a choice whether to move into meditation or move into the world. The choice became mine again because I was again enlightened. You know, I didn't have a personality. I was raw. I was unique. I was naive. I was uneducated. And I had a choice now. Do I move into Osho or do I move into the world? And I'd love to tell you that I moved into Osho, you know, but basically it's scary to be real, you know, so I would spend 1 minute with Osho and then I'd spend 1 minute in the world. And the beauty of it is I learned to be comfortable in both situations, And that's what I'm trying to share with you today. Osho's job was to say meditation is it. You are shit without meditation. And the world's saying, you know, why do you need meditation when you need me so much? You know, we need to do this together. And I have learned to add Osho to the world. That's all I'm trying to say today. I spent years trying to be Osho, you know? I mean, my beard was so long, I wanted to look just like him, but I looked, unfortunately, more like Bob Dylan, you know? And, you know, and then I shaved my beard and I looked more like me than Bob Dylan or Osho. And that was a wonderful experience. And now I have a tiny beard again. I promise not to get it any longer than this. My sisters are reminding me not to have that beard go down to the ground anymore. But isn't it fun? Osho, and I hate to say this to the men, but Osho once said to me that a man without a beard is like a woman with a beard, you know, and to just let my beard grow. But now I don't listen to Osho as much as I used to. So this is actually kind of long, but I love this. When you write books, this is very important stroke, you know, the thinker. You know, it's so cute. When you I write a book about meditation and it's just thought, of course, you know, what dissolves thought is you when you read my book, when you say, oh, Krishna, that's so cute, but you're stupid. This is really what meditation is for me. So I wrote the book for you, but when I finished it, I realized that I wrote it for me, you know. And when you read my book, you'll read it thinking it's about Krishna Prem. And when you finish, you'll say, oh my gosh, Krishna tricked me into meeting myself. So I don't know if you can, it's a great book. It's called Aloneness, a love story. It's on Amazon, you know, and or you can write to me and I'll help you buy it, or I'll give you a free chapter, you know. It's not a big deal. It's not a bestseller, so I can be generous, you know, but life is good. And, you know, one of the things that when Brian visited me in India, one of the meditations that he came back with, and I want to kind of share it with you right now, is to breathe in existence, you know, and breathe out your name. And what Osho said to me, it's so very, very simple, that existence is crazy about you. And you live as if you're a nobody. Now, it's wonderful to be a nobody if you're in love with yourself. It's lousy to be a nobody if you're not in love with yourself. So Osho is always reminding us that existence is crazy about you. When's the last time you felt existence was in better shape because you are here, you know. And that's all Osho was teaching. So I just want to play again a small piece called Deeper from Miten. I happen to be in love with Miten and Premal today, so we're going to play music. And I just want you to breathe in God, existence, Osho, America, whatever you love. Just breathe in that and breathe out your name. And just do it for a minute or two. It's a 5-minute piece of music. The other few minutes, you can just take a nap or just listen to beautiful music. Watch your breath is always very important. But just for the first minute or two, breathe in, I am love. Breathe out, I love myself. Actually, breathe out your name. So breathe in Osho or existence and breathe out your name. After about a minute or two, just relax into the music and I'll be back with you. Eyes are closed, just relaxing. Taking a moment off this horrible world, this beautiful world, excuse me.
Deeper into the heart of love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Deeper. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Rising, rising in love. Deeper into the heart of love. Deeper, yeah, deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Deeper. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Rising, rising in love. go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Rising, rising in love. Rising in love. Deeper. Letting go. Letting go. Deeper. Rising in love.
Nice. Am I back, Amritanan? Good. Yeah, beautiful song, Miten and Premal. You know, everybody thinks that Osho was just meditating all day, but he was actually one of the most worldly men I ever met. And one of the examples is when we got together every night in Osho Auditorium in the 70s, and there were over 1,000 to 2,000 people meditating together. And Miten and Premal were playing music, and Chaitanya Hari Dudu was playing music, and Karunesh was playing music. And what I'm trying to say is that these fledgling musicians were playing for over 1,000 people a night to 2,000 people. I mean, that's basically rock star status. And when you go to the new age music and you look at the top 10 selling artists, the last time I looked, 8 of them had played in the Osho Auditorium. You know, in other words, Osho created a venue for musicians to be comfortable with a big audience. And of course, we know Sting gets 50,000 people, but really after Sting is Osho's musicians. In other words, if ask any musician you meet, would you like to play for 1,000 to 2,000 friends tonight? They would all scream, yes, yes, yes. Even when you asked Sting, he said, oh, I don't want to do a big auditorium with 50,000. Can we get an intimate space for 1,000 friends? And I think you find out that Osho helped these musicians to gain confidence. In other words, Pune and Rajneeshpuram, they were all created as a model for the world to work. That's the difference between Osho and the world. Osho was creating a model that works, and the world is creating a model that destructs itself. I mean, I think everybody that's watched the news in the last few days must be throwing their hands up in the air saying, how did we get to this point? You know, where in 2022, a woman doesn't have the right to an abortion, that Ukraine is being attacked every moment of its existence. I don't know if it's ever been any better or worse. I don't know if I'm meditating with you today because the world is in pain, or I'm meditating with you today to add joy to pain, or as Brian would say, go deeper, go deeper. It's just a difficult time right now. And when I would say to Osho, it's a difficult time right now, he'd say, don't worry about that, I'll take care of that. Please don't forget to send me the jokes. In fact, even when he sent me to America to start Gitam Sannyas Ashram for him, he said, when you write to me with pictures, please include some jokes. Because, you know, he knew, and I knew how much he enjoyed his jokes. And one joke I sent to them, which has everything to do with tonight, is Abe, a good Jewish man, was in Malibu, California. And a tsunami was about to come. And the fire department came to his front door and they knocked on the door and they said, Abe, you're a good man. We want to save you. Please come with us. And Abe said, in my hour of need, only God can help me. And now he's on the second floor, you know, and that tsunami is looking more like it's on its way than ever. The waves are already pounding into his home. The beach is gone. And the US Navy comes and they said, Abe, you're such a good man. We came to save you. And Abe said, look, in my hour of need, only God can save me. Now he's on the roof of his own home. The tsunami is about to come. The US Air Force helicopter is above his home. Abe, let us save you. No, in my hour of need, only God. And the tsunami hits. The house is wasted. Abe dies. He's now in heaven. He's sitting in front of God and he's pissed off and he's looking down. And God said, Abe, you know, what's wrong? Aren't you happy to see me? And Abe said, in my hour of need, where were you? You let me down. I don't love you anymore. Where were you in my hour of need? And God said, you got to be kidding. I sent the fire department. I sent the Navy. You know, I sent everybody to save you and you didn't listen. And I love that joke, and so did Osho, because it indicates again what we're talking about tonight, you know. When you get to heaven, you can talk to God, you know, but right now we have to talk to each other. We have to meditate together. We have to remember that existence is crazy about us and life is worth it, you know. And that's all I'm trying to say today. You know, I'm not Osho and I'm not God. I'm just a little guy taking a walk with his friends today, you know, and saying, let's remember to meditate in the marketplace, you know. It's very simple. And, you know, we talked about infinity, you know, that sign, 1% is existence and the other 99% is the marketplace, you know. And separating existence from the marketplace is that little dot. And that little dot is your ego. So a guy like me that's meditated in India for almost 50 years now is saying, meditation is. And then on the other side of that dot, the world is saying, come back to California, get a job, be responsible, you know. And all I'm saying is, if you want to be a happy human being, you have to breathe into that dot. That dot that separates the 1% from the other 99% is what we call the ego. So the ego is saying to most people, please go to work. You don't need existence. And existence is saying, you don't need the world. I say, breathe into your ego. When you breathe into your ego, you'll notice almost right away that that dot is not solid. that thought is protecting you. You know, it's saying meditation or the world. I'm saying if you breathe into that thought becomes bigger and less solid. And more you breathe into life, the more it gets big. Your ego gets so big that you can walk right through it. You don't even have an ego once you learn how to breathe. Once you learn how to add meditation to the marketplace, you don't need your ego. Your ego is protecting yourself from yourself. My God, can you believe it? Can you believe it? In our original example, Krishna Prem and Osho, if you go all the way down into Osho, you meet Krishna Prem. You know, this dot, your ego becomes the witness. You know, and that's all Osho's trying to teach. Please watch yourself while you meditate, but he's actually saying, please also watch yourself while you're playing music or dancing to music in Osho Auditorium. You know, you need meditation and you need the world. Now, I don't want to be stupid about the whole thing. I'm just trying to say, you need to be 100%. You need to be alive. And yeah, what to say? And in order to be alive right now, we may need to heal, you know. And so I just want to spend some time with you on healing. Osho has reminded us so many times that medicine and meditation come from the same root word. And I know as I get older, I was just laughing with my family yesterday, that I don't, at 78, I'm not getting any birth announcements, you know. I'm getting death announcements, you know, who died today. And I was laughing with one of the Osho magazines, you know, that has an obituary column at the end. I said, one day your whole newspaper will just be an obituary column, you know, and it's the end of your magazine, you know, like the sannyas community is getting a little bit older and not having as many children. So I don't know what happens to us. So we have to be alive right now because that's what is, you know. So don't really know what I'm saying, but it doesn't make a difference, does it? You know, just add meditation to the marketplace and add healing to your life. And what I meant is, I know at my age, if someone isn't feeling well, one of my first thoughts is, why didn't I become a doctor? Why can't I help everyone, you know? And it's very simple. I've shared it with you before. My gosh, I've shared it with you before that when my sister mother was dying, I went to see Osho and I said, I'm leaving now, Osho. I need to see my sister mother's leaving her body and I need to be with her. And Osho said, well, what are you going to do with her? You know, I mean, if you're leaving me, what are you going to do with her? And I said, well, we love to chant the sound of Om. And Osho closed his eyes and he said, when he opened his eyes, he said, Krishna, the only problem is you've never heard the sound of Om. You've just been practicing chanting, but do you really know that sound? And I said, well, actually, you have a point. He said, your mother's dying. She knows what life is. Now she knows what death is also. You need to be real. I said, well, how can I do that? He said, very simply, you just chant the sound of O. I said, that's very good, Osho. I totally understand. I don't want to fake it with my mother when I go home. And now I'm sitting with my mother. She's leaving her body very soon, my sister mother. And I'm chanting the sound of O. And she's not present anymore, but I could feel her, but she wasn't present as far as she couldn't relate to me any longer, verbally. And when the woman came in, the nurse came in to bathe her, I realized she had too much dignity for me to be in the room, even though she's leaving her body. She has nothing to do with her body anymore. She wouldn't want me in the room while she was being bathed. So I went into the bathroom and I was chanting still the sound of O. And as it became the sound of Om. I let go. I let go. I don't know how to explain that to you, but it was an indication to me that in that moment, and so often in existence, the bathroom is your meditation auditorium. I became real, and the sound of O became the sound of Om. She left her body, and I'm with you today. It's pretty simple. So I want to again suggest to you what Atisha suggested to Buddha when he was alive, to just breathe in love. Can I correct myself? You breathe in your mother's pain and you breathe out your love. You breathe in the pain of Ukraine and you breathe out your love. And the beauty of this, it just doesn't sound that great, does it? You know, who are you to do that? But it actually works. So the next time you're with somebody that's not feeling well, don't mention you're doing this meditation. Just breathe in their pain, breathe into your heart their pain, and breathe out your love. It's very, very simple. While you make them a cup of tea, and you don't mention anything that you're meditating with them, and you might find out that the person says to you, your mother says to you, your aunt says to you, your child says to you, I feel better. What's in this tea? What's in this tea? And you can giggle and you say, it's just herb tea. Because breathing in pain into your heart is alchemical. And when you breathe out love, it's alchemical. And don't give that love a name. Don't give it an attachment. Just be pure love. Breathe in pure pain, breathe out pure love. So we're going to do this meditation again to my favorite Deva Premal, the Gayatri mantra. And I want you at first to heal yourself. Just spend a minute breathing in your own pain into your heart, breathing out pure love. Once you're feeling a little bit better, you can do it for your mother, you can do it for your cat, you can do it for Ukraine. And after a few minutes, you can let it go or you can keep going, but be pure. You know, don't look for an outcome. There's no test at the end of this session. There's just no test. You know, I often say to my friends that are younger than you when I lead a meditation, did you take trust in high school? No. When you went to college, did you take a course in love? No. So what I'm saying today is we're looking for the little tiny human being still left in us, you know, to be pure, to be love. So no names for love, no names for pain, you know, breathe in the pain of Ukraine and breathe out your love. Very, very delicate. And time comes, time goes. So this, if you don't mind, if you don't want to do this meditation, it's one of the most beautiful songs ever sang by Deva Premal and Miten. Thank you. Be pure, be love, be simple.
Bargo devasya dimahi piyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dimahi piyo Prachodayat Om Bhurvuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvasva Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhuva Tatsavitovareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsavitovareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat Swaha Tatsavitovareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsavitovareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayat.
Beautiful. So, we all got here today. Our head said it's 9 a.m. in California, and now we've just dropped into the heart. And soon, when you begin to trust, letting go of the mind and dropping into the heart, the next stop is your hara. You drop back into your belly. And this is falling in love. And rising in love means that you trust who you are. You trust being in the belly, the home of meditation. And then you rise into the heart, into love, and then up into the mind, which is now a vehicle for being in love or being in meditation. And they don't compete. You can be in love, you can be in meditation, you can be in both. There's no competition. Once you're who you are in the belly and you rise up into the heart, you can just love all you want, another human being, Osho, yourself, no one at all, except taking a walk in nature today and saying, thank you, And I want to thank everybody for coming. My good friend Suhaiwa must have woke up at 6 o'clock in Hawaii. I thank you. And many, many friends from Australia are listening while they sleep, because I will actually let you know very soon that we have recorded this, and you can listen at your own convenience another time or share it with a friend. I want to thank everybody for wasting my time today. We got nothing done. We were just being for an hour and a half. Hey, namaste, love.
I wanna fly, I wanna dream, to cross like a star all the universe. I wanna live, I wanna feel.